guys, they said uh, Obalufe and the kingmakers have made Kabiyesi to understand the implication of what he wants to do. Trying to force Ebony to swear an oath over pregnancy issue. According to what we are hearing, they said this Obalufe, who happens to be the prime minister, the one after the king, they said the Kabiyesi is the spiritual leader of all the Yoruba people. Meanwhile, this Obalufe, they said, is the political leader. Let me just put it that way. When it has to do with politics, they said the man is fully involved, while Kabiyesi is seen as the spiritual leader of the people, you know. So, and some key elders, all those kingmakers, they said when this issue of swearing with ancient sword is rising, they intervened. And when they intervened, they said it is not going to happen. And Kabiyesi was feeling so angry over their intervention, especially when they halted the process, insisting that pregnancy is not something that anyone can cover, that with time they will find out if she is pregnant or not, and all of that. Now, they said after that incident, Ebony was a kind of a little bit relieved, even though the king wanted her out of the way by all means, if everything we're hearing is the truth. They said the Obalufe have summoned the king with some key elders, trying to remind him what happened when he ascended the throne in 2015. During that period, they said the ruling house where Ebony comes from, and Ebony and the Blow Blow, it's like inside that same ruling house, they have fractions, because they said the two of them represent different fractions in that ruling house. They said those ruling house, they gave Kabiyesi so much headache during that 2015. As a matter of fact, they said Obalufe reminded Kabiyesi that you did not marry Ebony out of love. No. In as much as she's claiming that you are betrothed to him, this, that you and I know that you did not marry him out of love. You married him to fulfill politics. We married him to fulfill promise, because when the going was getting too tough, they have to propose marriage to the king, that the king, if they really want his support, that he should choose a bride from their ruling house, of which that is where Ebony and Blow Blow came into the picture. So, uh, and ever since then, it's not as if they have been giving their support to, but they have stopped bothering the king. They have stopped being a pin on his neck, you know. So right now that the situation have gotten to this extent again, this Obalufe is trying to remind Kabiyesi that remember what you passed through when you newly ascended the throne. Don't think that you have arrived. Most of um the kingmakers came from that place and from other ruling houses. And you know that these people are powerful. They can mobilize people against you, and you're going to lose the throne over things that do not matter much. What is pregnancy that you cannot wait? That is when they told him to learn how to balance emotion with politics. That in as much as they know that he is not happy with Ebony, he is emotionally falling out with Ebony. But, and on the other hand, due to the fact that Ebony called the queen's uncle and started causing so much problem, maybe the king is trying to do that to teach her a lesson, but forgetting the consequences, because that Ituase is not only going to affect Ebony alone. That is what they said Obalufe is telling the king, that if you embarrass Ebony or humiliate Ebony the way you wanted to, maybe to you to teach him a lesson, it's also going to affect the family. It's not going to be a fight for Ebony alone. The family, the ruling house where she came from, will start fighting you again. They will gang up. They will use a lot of things against you. And at the end of the day, you might end up losing the throne. So in as much as we know that you are not happy with Ebony, you did not marry Ebony because you love her. You marry Ebony because you want to fulfill promise. You will marry Ebony out of politics. So let it remain like that. They said they started advising him to find a way to avoid Ebony at all costs. Avoid her so that she will not mess things up for you because you don't know what her mission is. And you guys remember that a lot of people believe strongly that Ebony and the Blow Blow are in Kabiesi's life for a mission. Who knows? Is this how they want to achieve it? I do not know. But this group of elders who understand things better or who are more matured into the game, because almost all of them are older than the king, they are letting him understand that this is not about emotions alone. There are things you need to put into consideration. Yes, there are things you need to put into consideration. Being on the throne is not an easy task. You don't do things the way you want. There are things that you have to put into consideration, whether you like them or not. Because left for the king would have sent Ebony away. But they said the king cannot divorce a wife, and that's why he is trying to go through some of these processes. But at this point, Ebony have hold him at the point that he doesn't know what to do. So all he could do right now is to be patient with Ebony. Time will tell. Pregnancy is not something that you can cover up for a very long time. If she's truly pregnant, with time, we'll find out. But the first one, a lot of people said they did not see her with pregnancy. I don't know. I cannot say. It's none of my business. But the only thing we know is that the king announced her baby. The king welcomed her baby. And that simply means that the child belongs to the king. As for this one, whether she's pregnant or not, we do not know. It's only time will tell. And if you ask me, I will say that what these elders are telling the king is the right thing. Let him find a way to teach Ebony a lesson apart from involving her family. Because they said the family where she comes from, they are powerful. And they have the ability to mobilize other ruling houses against the king. And they will start throwing tantrums at him. So instead of allowing Ebony to be the reason for all of this, I think he should overlook Ebony and find a way to deal with her in his own way. After all, as a man, there are many ways you can deal with a woman. Anyway, guys, that is what we're hearing if the information is true. What do you think? Tell us on the comment section. But I want to remind you that these are all alleged, unverified information making rounds on social media and shouldn't be seen as fact unless you verify them. Okay, thanks for watching. Do well to subscribe to my channel, follow my page, and share this video. I love you guys. Bye. See you.